Hi there, my name is Liz Hathaway and this is my astrological look at the week ahead. That's week 7 already of 2021 and that's the week starting Monday the 15th of February. The week begins with the moon in Aries, which I think is bringing in some much needed fire, particularly Aries. Aries is very much it's an energetic fire sign, it's a starter, it's a cardinal sign. It rushes in, it just wants to do. It's not so concerned with outcomes. The activity, just for its own sake, brings its own degree of satisfaction. It's not necessarily a calculating moon, but it is a moon that wants to clear the decks, if you like, get things done. I think it's really important that we've got a bit of fire coming in this week because we've been really bogged down a bit in these fixed signs, although we've just had a new moon in Aquarius, which was great. So it's time to start putting some, shall we say, new ideas, putting them to work. Let's start putting them out, extending them out into the world, because we see on Sunday, of course, Mercury will go direct, and on Thursday, the sun itself changes sign. It moves into Pisces, which is much more fluid, which is Jupiter ruled. It's kind of much more out there and flowing and less caught up in the sort of struggle of the fixed signs, which certainly with Aquarius and Taurus, there's that dug in quality, I'm right, no, I'm right, and that sort of, clash of wills, because both of these signs, Aquarius and Taurus, are very willful, right? So I'm really pleased, looking forward to this sort of slight shifts that we're seeing this week of the moon at the beginning of the week in Aries. On Monday, it's sextile that retrograde Mercury and also sextile Jupiter. So there's some insights to be gained here. This is a useful, I think, moon in Aries, right, in the beginning of the week. It's interesting as well now that the Jupiter and Saturn have moved out of Capricorn. It's kind of freeing up the cardinals a bit as well. They don't have to oppose or square, a whole bunch of planets in Capricorn now. So getting things started, getting things done, even though it might be within a setting, because the larger setting, we're still in this fixed energy, right? We've still got Uranus in Taurus, we've still got Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, we're still pretty much in lockdown, but we can still start things, we can still initiate things, we can still make things happen. And I think more so in a way than when the moon and the other planets in the cardinals had to sort of deal and contend with a whole run-up of planets in Capricorn. Wednesday, we see the moon moving into Taurus. Traditionally, this is the best place for the moon. The moon is exalted here. It stabilizes the emotions. It's about creature comforts. It's a kind of almost like a resting place for the moon here. And yet, there is no peace to be found, you could say, in a way, because on the day that the moon moves into Taurus, we have the first of the Saturn-Uranus squares. Now, I've talked quite a bit about Saturn square Uranus because it is the dominant aspect of this year. I mean, this is the first of 3. We'll have another one on the 15th of June when the sun will be in Gemini. So that's kind of a bit looser all round, I think. And then the final one on the 24th of December, I think quite benefits Uranus because the sun is then in Capricorn, another earth sign. So this is the theme. Saturn square Uranus is the theme for this year. And we could say that, it's kind of change through conflict, change through struggle. Change is there, change is hanging in the air, but it's a kind of, the square, it's rubbing together, it's creating friction, and it's that kind of friction that is empowering and generating the changes that are taking place. So, yeah, this is the first of the 3. The moon, as I say, is in Taurus, so it's kind of maybe as well, we'll feel it on ourselves in a way as well, on a personal, individual level. But it's a powerful square, Saturn square Uranus, change through conflict. So I think on a personal level, bringing it really down to that level, I think the questions we could be asking ourselves is really, like, there's 2 really big questions, one belonging to Saturn, one really belonging to Uranus. It's where are we frightened of change? Where are we holding on to the past? Where are we holding on to a particular structure in our lives? What are we afraid of? That's the Saturn side of it. And then we could invite ourselves or offer ourselves an opportunity to really play with the thoughts, air signs, so we're playing with possibilities. What would I actually really like to change in my life? What area of my life would I really like to bring about change? So those two thoughts, where am I frightened of change? And where should I try to bring in change? Or where would I, at this point, maybe even just speculative, what would I like to change if I could? You know, free your mind up. Because I think this is a key point to this square, you know, is identifying what's holding us back, where our fears are, and then recognizing as well where we really need and want to bring about change. What's stopping us? What's holding us back? So it's a really great sort of, you know, it's a great aspect for getting things done, right? Saturn square Uranus, but it is that change through conflict as opposed to being handed to you, you know, well oiled and well greased and it just flows. This is friction. This is kind of, there's something driving the change, if you like. So Thursday then we see the sun moving into Pisces, which is, you know, I kind of think it's a bit more relaxed, it's a bit more chilled out, it's a bit more go with the flow, it's Jupiter ruled, it's open to learning new things, it's dualistic. So we can deal with, you know, we can multitask. I find Pisces are very good at multitasking. They're also very good at having, you know, two problems are always pretty good for a Pisces. One problem they can get bogged down in, but if they have a few problems, a few things to kind of work their mind, they kind of can, you know, juggle, you know, and flow between all these different things that are going on. They're kind of quite busy. It's kind of busy sun, really, sun in Pisces. And then on Friday, we see the moon in Taurus is conjunct Mars. It's trine Pluto. It's really nice, that moon trine Pluto. And then we see moon in Gemini on Friday. Saturday, we see Venus in Aquarius squaring Mars in Taurus, right? So, you know, we're back in that fixed a bit. It's back into my will or thy will be done, right? It's a bit of a struggle there. But on the other hand, it's tying in, of course, into that bigger Saturn-Uranus square. So Venus is a bit close to our heart, what we're passionate about. So maybe we should be allowing that through in our thinking as well. When we think about change, how can I change and incorporate those things that really turn me on, those things that really, you know, make me feel good, that I really love doing? How can we incorporate that into this larger pattern of change for the year? And of course, then on Sunday we see Mercury actually going direct. So this is Mercury direct. This has been a strange Mercury direct for me. I have actually. Usually I don't really see it as, you know, problems with computers necessarily or problems with post or whatever. But I must say I have had quite a few cancellations of appointments, rescheduling of appointments, and I have found my internet incredibly slow. I've thought maybe it's the weather because we're in a big freeze here in the Netherlands at the moment. But there's definitely, it's sort of everything along the airways has been slowed down. So it's interesting, I think, Mercury going direct as well, because it gives us that opportunity on the back of that lovely new moon that we've just had. You know, Mercury in Aquarius, it's about possibilities. It's about, but with Saturn in Aquarius, realistic possibilities. And I think the general theme, the big theme this week, if we think about ourselves as individuals, is spending a bit of attention on identifying those two key areas that I've mentioned, which is, where are we fearful of change and where do we really want to bring change in? Okay, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week. And I'm going to look for my little thing here, see if I can figure out. Yes, have a good week.